Armour of God was released in 1986. It stars Jackie Chan, who is also in the director's chair. I saw this film with a friend of mine way back in my teenage years, and there was really only one scene that I remember from it that kind of stuck in my brain, got lodged in there, and made me always want to revisit it. Yeah, it's a bit of a mixed bag. This it's not quite as good as I remember it being, and yet in some respects it's even better. There's certain aspects of it that I appreciate a lot more than I ever remember doing. So essentially it's kind of an Indiana Jones rip-off. Jackie Chan plays this man called Jackie, who goes by the code name Asian Hawk. And he's made it his mission to track down the 5 pieces of the Armour of God. These are 5 pieces from a myth about God, the one true God, coming to earth, waging war against an evil religion and defeating it whilst wearing this particular 5-piece set of armour, which then got lost to the sands of time. But yeah, this evil religion has kind of made its way back up and is now looking for these 5 pieces of the armour, because if it gets hold of them all, it can do something dastardly. I'll be perfectly honest, right? It was very hard to keep up with what was going on in this, and that was mostly because of how fast the subtitling is. I quite simply could not keep up with the subtitles, which made it feel more like work to watch this than fun. That being said, when I was keeping up with it, it does have a lot of charm. Now, the action sequences, which are really the standout of any Jackie Chan film, quite frankly, that's why we come to him, I would imagine, for most Jackie Chan fans. The action sequences are phenomenal. They're really great. They've got the trademark humour interjected with the violence that Jackie Chan is famous for. There's one particular fight scene, and this is the scene that, like I say, lodged in my brain as a child. One particular fight scene that Jackie has with these 4 women, these 4 black women, all dressed in black leather, who are pretty speedy, it's got to be said, and they don't hold back. They don't come at him one at a time. All four of them are trying to get a kick in, trying to get a punch in, and he's dodging left, right, jumping up and down, getting kicked in the balls, getting swiped in the face, and it's really haphazard. But it's really fast. It's really brutal, and it's also really comedic, and it is a standout. I gotta say, there's a reason I remembered it. It's an incredible fight scene. The final 20 minutes of this are really where most of the action is, certainly most of the fight choreography. It's an incredible closing 20 minutes. But there's some other action sequences, kind of sparsely littered throughout. We get a really solid car chase, and we get an opening in which it introduces us to Jackie's character when he's trying to steal one of these pieces, and that's entertaining. Again, a lot of comedy in there as well, a lot of humour. So I like the action. I like the action a lot. My biggest complaint with the action is that it doesn't come often enough. After the opening action set piece, we literally get half an hour of just talking. Scenes between, Jackie and his old bandmates. One of his old bandmates comes to him and says, look, it's my girlfriend, who I know you used to be in love with and probably still are. She's been kidnapped because the people who kidnapped her are after this Armour of God. Can you help me? And that's what kind of kickstarts the journey off for him. And it's like there's just too much talky stuff there, and some of it is humorous. I think there's a lot of like relationship dynamics that come out of these 2 characters in particular. I like when they're on the road, and we see him and this other character who joins them. They're asleep in the back seat. So Alan and this other character are asleep in the back seat, and then the camera pans along to Jackie, who's driving, who's also asleep, and it was a really great setup and payoff, just using the camera that made me laugh out loud. So there's funny moments like that throughout. And it gets a bit slapstick at various points, as you know, people all have their own agendas. So there's this woman who joins them, who is also after the armour of God, and has kind of been told by her father essentially to help these two save the woman on the condition that they will help her get the other pieces of the armour of God. She's played by Lola Fauna, who was like one of these Miss Europe kind of contest winners. Understandably so, very beautiful looking woman for sure. I can't tell quite if she's giving a good performance, because she's clearly speaking in her own language, or certainly not Chinese anyway, not Mandarin. But then she's being dubbed over with a Mandarin actor. But then we've got the subtitles translating the Mandarin at the bottom. So you're not really paying attention to her performance because you're too busy reading the subtitles, and the mouth isn't going with what the Mandarin's saying anyway, because she obviously spoke the lines in a different language. You have to get, that's one of those hurdles you have to get over when watching like a Jackie Chan film of this era. I liked her anyway, what she offered here. She was good at kind of, it was like this triple act between her and Alan and Jackie, and the three of them kind of stay at this hotel when they've got a couple of pieces of the armour of God, and then all these shenanigans ensue where it's like miscommunication, people thinking one thing when actually it's another, and the other one realising, oh, they're thinking this, but I can't tell them that it's this because otherwise it'll give this away, so I need to swing them that way. So it all becomes this like farcical comedy, which, as I say, Chan is very good at, and very good at orchestrating. So I liked that stuff when I could keep up with it. I think it's worth a watch. It's a good film. I highly enjoyed it to a large degree, particularly the back end. But there was kind of like a half-hour period between that opening set piece and the car chase set piece that appears somewhere in the middle of the film. That stretch gets a little bit like, I'm kind of watching the clock going, are we going to get to some of the action I remember? Because like I said, I came to this with certain memories of it, and I just remember certain action, and I wanted to get to those bits, which maybe is unfair to bring that to the film. It means I wasn't really taking it on its own terms, but either way, there you go. Not the best Jackie Chan film I've seen, but it certainly does have some of the best single moments from a Jackie Chan film that I've seen. But what about you? Have you seen it? And if so, how would you rank it amongst Jackie Chan's work? Is this one of his lesser films? Do you have any suggestions as to which Jackie Chan film I should be watching? I have seen Police Story, just to let you know, and it is highly regarded as one of his absolute classics for good reason. But yeah, what else should I be checking out of Chan's work, of his action stuff? Leave your comments down below, let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching this review, and until next time, cracking.